Beans. Ate a bean salad and it's like peanuts and vinegar.
It's just peanuts and chocolate. Bean salad.
You didn't ask for it, but fun tip if you're trying to eat healthy.
So I would like to come and make a statement of 2026 is the double F year.
It's the year of Fs. Fs will be given. Today's episode is a little bit of a shorter one, we think, sparked by something that we've been seeing everywhere lately. Blue zones and the rise of BeanTok. Suddenly, everyone's talking about people living to 100, eating beans every day, and acting like one viral food trend is the secret to longevity. So we wanted to take a step back and ask, what's actually true here? In this episode, we're breaking down what blue zones really are and why beans keep coming up in these conversations, and also what actually matters when it comes to living a longer, healthier life, without turning it into another thing you feel like you're doing wrong. Let's separate the hype from the habits. My wish for this episode is that I don't have a lisp. That's my hope.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, she doesn't really have a lisp in real life, and I don't know why the podcast just brings it out on her.
Maybe it's an internal twitch I have. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the way we're like editing, but like I don't have a lisp, you have a lisp.
No, seriously, like at this point, you and I have the exact same microphone. Why do you sound clear as day? Like I think you could pierce through a piece of glass with your voice. And then mine, I'm lisping.
All right, let's get into it. I want to talk about blue zones. I have known about blue zones for a while now, but now I feel like blue zones and BeanTok are coming together, and I want to discuss it.
I have no idea. Well, I should say, rewind. I had no idea what blue zones were before yesterday.
So blue zones are parts of the world that have like the longest longevity rate in humans. I know a lot of Asian countries, Greece, some places in Italy. Like there's people regularly living to 100 years old.
Well, that seems pretty cool. I was going to guess that the US did not make that list.
No. We're not a blue zone. I don't even know if we have a zone. There's no zoning for us.
Red zone?
Red zone. Yeah, no.
Black zone?
Yeah, literally. I don't know if there's a zone for us, but I'm very intrigued by the blue zones. And the thing that is the most intriguing is they all kind of have similar qualities, similar practices, similar foods that they're eating regularly. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. And then we're also going to talk about like what they're not eating and whether we agree with that or not.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
So I just want to like really clarify for people what blue zones are. Blue zones are regions of the world where people live longer than average and healthier lives. They identify through longevity research observing higher numbers of centenarians.
I know what it means. I don't know what it looks like to pronunciate it.
You know, it means you've lived to 100.
Centenarians?
Yeah,
Centenarians.
Like that doesn't sound correct, but it is correct. You live to 100. And then their longevity is linked to lifestyle, community, and diet, not genetics alone. So there's hope. There's hope for everyone listening to this.
There's help for you.
We have help for you.
Fun fact.
Go ahead.
Because I Googled, like, okay, in, like, the realm of, like, a blue zone kind of, like, situation, like, what zone is the U.S.? And it said, yeah, the U.S. is not considered a blue zone. It didn't tell me what zone it's classified as, but apparently there's a Seventh-day Adventist community in Loma Linda, California that is recognized as a blue zone.
Oh. Interesting.
So fun fact.
What is the average life expectancy in America? Just out of curiosity.
Ooh. 78.4 years.
Okay. So these people are literally adding 20 plus years to their lives more than the average American.
And I can guarantee, like, I'm thinking about, like, what a lot of the average Americans, like, last years look like. They're either not enjoying life, they're on medications, they're sick, they can't function, whether physically or mentally. And I can guarantee if they're living to 100, that it's like a good 100 years. It's not like I'm depreciating and like falling apart for the last 10, 15, 20 years of my life.
Yes, these are literally people that are dying of old age, where it is almost unheard of to die of old age in America now. So they have to be doing something right.
How long did you say was it your great grandfather lived?
But yes, I want to say into his 90s. I don't really know 100%.
Hmm.
I don't really know.
I had a great grandmother and she lived until she was 97.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
Did she
She
die
had
of
a,
old age?
yeah.
Love that.
Yep. I joke and rest in peace, Grammy Aunt. Loved her dearly. She was always like that very sweet. And come to find out, like, she just couldn't hear shit. Like, she got finally to like her 80s and she was like, you know what? I think I need hearing aids. And we went, wow, thanks for coming to the conclusion we've been trying to tell you, but it had to be her idea. So it was like somewhere crazy in her 80s that she finally got hearing aids and like found out that's why she was so quiet. It's because she just could not hear anyone's conversations to chime in. But she was born in like, I want to say 1923.
Wow.
Yeah, 1923. She had passed away in March of 2020. And I joke because she's lived through so much in her life. I was like, she saw COVID coming and she said, you know what, guys, I'm out.
Yeah. She
She
said,
said, I'm
"This is
not
it
putting
for
up with
me."
that one.
Yup. And I don't blame her.
Neither do I. It was a good decision.
So, can you tell me what exactly does it mean to die of old age?
So, the AI overview definition of dying of old age, it's not a medical term, but it is a common phrase meaning that someone died naturally from age-related decline, typically succumbing to an illness like pneumonia, a heart attack, or a stroke that a younger, healthier person might survive due to their body's weakening ability to fight the disease and recover from that stress.
Yes. So, these people in these blue zones, not only are they living to 100, they're living to 100 with a good quality of life still. Like you said, it's a subtle decline, and of course they're declining, they're still human, but they are still getting out with the community, moving, all that kind of stuff. So there's a few practices that they do. I mostly want to talk about the food, but I do want to touch on like the community practices of these blue zones just a little bit. The biggest one, number one, natural movement, walking. Um,
Probably very walkable areas if I had to imagine too.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But in that theory, wouldn't you think like New York City would be like a blue zone?
Theoretically, somewhat
Theoretically,
similar.
but no, something's wrong. Something's going wrong somewhere. So the shared practice are natural movement, like the daily walking. It improves the circulation, muscle strength, insulin sensitivity. So we keep saying that you don't need to be like going crazy in the gym. Just get some movement, get some steps. Um, just move your body in general. I promise you'll feel better.
Yeah.
Number two, which I kind of loved this one that we don't really think about too much. Number two is a sense of purpose.
Hmm.
So, having a sense of purpose in these communities will naturally lower stress hormones, support mental health, and it's generally linked to a longer lifespan because it does those things.
Hmm. I will tell you from my experience, as far as like purpose goes, when I worked in Maryland, like right out of college, it was like a government facility, top secret, like no phones, no smartwatches, no nothing with Bluetooth. Like the only thing you were taking into the building was like paper and pens and like your lunch. And being in that environment, not only feeling excluded from the outside world, but also being in such a like dark, shielded from just outside sunlight, on top of not feeling like the imposter syndrome in my role that I was in was so high. Like I felt like I didn't know shit. And because of that, I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? I don't see where my role is playing into a bigger picture with like literal national security. So that was really hard for me to wake up every day to want to go into an office where I felt like I was literally just wasting 8 to 10 hours of my day doing what? Like there was no outcome, there was no result, there was no, here's what your efforts did yesterday, like here's why you should keep going today. Like it was so dry, monotonous, and I felt like there was no purpose for me being in that space, which was a huge reason why I needed to get out. Is like I literally felt myself going into like a slight depression, just not having a purpose or feeling like I didn't have one.
Absolutely. And I feel a lot of America also overworks itself, which I'm sure you were somewhat overworking yourself in that position that you weren't happy in the first place. So that kind of brings me to the next one is stress reduction rituals. So that includes like napping and prayer and breaks of any kind. I remember how I said in one of the episodes where the Italians just don't work. They're taking 2-hour lunch breaks. But remember, I said Italy was on one of those like blue zones, like parts of Italy is in like blue zones. And I get
Mhm.
it. Like they cut it off because they still have lives and they enjoy quality of life, which I think
Mhm.
America is so far away from. Um, this is one that I was like, whoa, is 80% full rule. So stop eating before fullness. So it reduces overeating, supports digestion and metabolic health.
So I wonder if like the way that they do that, because what I've noticed, we know that like in the US, the portions are just absolutely ridiculous, especially when you like go out to eat, order out, whatever. And that compared to either like what we consider like rich and like expensive restaurants is like your smaller plates, your smaller portions where you feel like you're getting gypped because there's not as much food for what you are used to. So I wonder if that kind of like mindset goes into their like meal portions to help with the 80% rule. Because that's one of the methods that I recommend to my clients is like eating the 80%. But even myself saying it to them, it's like hard to even gauge. Like, how do you know what 80% full feels like?
Yes. But I also think it's a cultural thing of America because we are always taught, and we were taught as children, like, finish your plate.
There's starving kids in China.
Exactly.
It's because they're
But
only eating till
there's,
they're 80% full.
yeah, exactly. They're fine. No, that's funny. Now, the last one is, and I love this one, is strong social connections. Um, So, why it matters is social bonds reduce depression, dementia, and mortality risk. So, remember, I was saying to you when we were in Greece, all the little shop owners just all hung out with each other. Like, it wasn't
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm going to sit inside and watch TV today. Like, it was a sense of community at all times, which
Mhm.
I loved. And I said, we have gotten so far away from that. It's very sad.
And I think a lot of our communities, at least like in our country, have moved from in person because I feel like, when your neighbor needs like a cup of sugar or whatever, they come knock on the door. Like we don't do that anymore. Our community
Mm-mm.
has gone from in person, knocking on your door, getting together in person, having dinners together, whatever, to like everything's online. People feel that they don't fit in with like the people that are locally around them, and they feel like they have to go online to find some sense of community and being, which I think just kind of diminishes the quality of a community, because that in person, whether we want to admit it or not, like that in person connection, I think means more than what we realize.
I would agree, and I feel like I am a this is a big one for me personally because I don't really have a sense of community where I am. I have my community at work and constantly talking to people at work and having that face-to-face connection, and then I have my community at home. I don't really have a community where I currently live, and I will is my community, but I don't know if that counts.
Mhm.
Like, does that fit into the blue zone guideline?
Does your spouse count as your community?
I know.
I would probably say, like, if I had to, if there was like black white definition, like, I'd probably say it doesn't. Just because, not that you can't relate to him, but like, I would think people that are very similar to you, female, like outgoing, like singing, likes traveling, like that kind of like community in a sense where I don't know. I don't know. And it's hard when you don't live at home, or for your example, like, yeah, I lived in Maryland. It was 3 hours away. You're only an hour away, but you travel 45 minutes to an hour for work one way, like, and then you've got that little pocket of people. And then you travel an hour the other way and you're at home. So you've got that pocket of people. Like, the opportunity for you to create your community is really low because the amount of time that you're spending there is when you're at home, when you're eating dinner with Will, when you're sleeping. Like, there's no
Yes.
opportunity for where you're at to build a community for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. But I would like to start doing that though because I do feel like it improves quality of life. Um but we'll see. Maybe that's a journey for 2026. But that's just kind of the shared practices that a lot of these blue zone regions all do. Now we're going to move on to food, which I'm so excited about. And this brings me to my first topic, beans.
Beans.
Tell me about beans. What are you seeing on BeanTok? I'm not on BeanTok. You're on BeanTok.
I'm like half on BeanTok, half not on BeanTok. Like, I want to resist BeanTok, but it keeps finding me. So
Okay.
I've leaned into it just a little bit, just a little bit. Scrolled it. I'm sure it'll keep popping up because I gave it attention for 0.2 seconds and the algorithm was like, she likes it, keep pushing it. So I'm sure I'll see more about it. I can update as I learn. But everything that I'm seeing is like, beans are great. Eat more beans. Everyone needs beans. And it's probably because of the fiber. I could imagine that it's because of the fiber, first of all. Like, great for gut health, a little bit of plant protein in there. But yeah, I keep seeing pizza beans, which I'd try it.
That
I don't
sounds
know.
pretty good.
And like, you should eat a can of beans a day. I saw a video of a girl, and I don't know if you do this. I don't think I would do this, but she's like in her car and she opens this can of beans and literally just like takes a spoon, cold raw dog in these beans. And I looked at her and I said, I don't think I could.
I
I would cook
wouldn't.
them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just raw dog. It was like a black bean,
Oh,
just straight to the can.
the only bean I feel I can do is a pinto.
What about a chickpea?
See, a chickpea to me is not a bean.
Oh,
I
but it
know
is.
it's like the same way like a peanut is like a bean. Like it's not.
A peanut's a legume. Is that a bean?
Yeah, like what beans kind of they're all in the same family. Do you know what I mean? But like you're
uh,
not out here like eating your peanuts and saying had beans for lunch.
Ate a bean salad and it's like peanuts and vinegar.
It's just peanuts and chocolate, bean salad.
I am a peanut butter loving girl, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
I will do it.
I love peanuts and peanut butter, but that's not the legumes that we're speaking of. And chickpeas are okay. I like chickpeas, but something about a pinto bean is my favorite by far.
Now, give me an example of how you would just eat a pinto bean, because I could tell you, I don't know if I've ever bought just like a straight pinto bean to do anything with it.
Wonderful. I am so glad you asked me this question because we have been trying to incorporate beans into our diet strictly for the reason of blue zones eat a lot of beans. It's number one whenever you look up blue zones. What do they eat? Beans. Beans every
Mm.
day, every night. Beans. Um, we like to do ground beef, cook it up. You get a can. I get a can. I don't like soak the beans overnight. That's a little too much for me. I get a can of organic pinto beans, just plain. They're in salt and water. You dump them out, you rinse them thoroughly, and then I mash them and throw them in with the cooked beef.
So you just mash them and then it's like a refried bean situation with some beef?
Yeah. And then you can kind of go whatever direction you want to with it, or you can make your own like baked beans, quote unquote, like the Bush's baked beans. Like when we're saying eat more beans, we're not necessarily talking about Bush's baked beans. Like don't eat the
No.
beans with the syrups and the sugar. It's
That's
just
definitely got
regular
some
straight
soybean
beans.
oil in there.
Yeah, regular straight beans. Um, but I've been enjoying putting them in with the beef. I would also enjoy them just in a pan and maybe add a little butter and like maple syrup. And you have more of that brown, sugary kind of like baked bean situation. If you do not want them in there, you can just cook them up with like garlic and butter. But beans are pretty easily disguisable.
So I have great news for myself. I eat green beans all the time. And I just, for some reason in my head, because, peanuts was a little like, are they legumes? Are they beans? What are they? I was like, are green beans beans? And they were
Yeah,
like, yeah, they are beans.
there
So
you go.
that's amazing. That's an easy one. That's not like your typical, if you get weird with like the mushy texture, like green beans still count.
Do they count under beans or do they count under vegetables though? Because that's very, very important
Well,
because
they're considered legumes.
okay. Okay. Because the reason for the beans and legumes is because they're very high in fiber, great for your gut health, blood sugar control, but also the plant protein. But the next on the list, which this is great, is vegetables.
Amazing.
Yeah. So they could fit into either,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. Just going back because I know sometimes I get overwhelmed and I feel like I have to have like ideas for beans, kind of like with the pinto beans. It's like, okay, if I bought them, what would I do with them?
Yeah.
One thing that I like to do to incorporate, like, I'll do black beans. I don't know if it's every week, probably like every other week if I do like a Taco Tuesday type deal.
Mhm.
But I like to do again like ground beef and then I kind of do like a one pan because I like to not have a bunch of dirty dishes when I'm cooking. So I'll do my ground beef, cook that up. Once it's done, I'll add in a can of drained and rinsed black beans, a can of drained and rinsed corn, and then like a half jar to however much you want of salsa, and then throw in like a cup of cooked rice. You got like a whole little skillet thing going on. You got beans in there, you got protein in there. Corn is like what nutrients come from corn really, but it's in there, you
It's
know?
it's technically a whole grain,
Yeah. So I
and
I would
that's on the
assume
list as
there's some
well.
nutrition. Amazing. So we
Yeah.
like some corn. But that's what I like to do with black beans when I have the beans.
Yes. So, I would recommend to everyone start putting those beans at least 2 or 3 times into your week.
Yeah. I think that's easy to incorporate too, even if it's not like something different. Like I just said, like the skillet that I make, that lasts at least 2 meals. And it's only a pound of
Yeah.
beef.
Yeah.
So like you could
Be-
easily get it in twice, just the same thing 2 different times a week.
And we've said so many times on this podcast that people are not getting their fiber in, and that is such an easy way to just sneak it right into your meals for you.
I'm going to predict this. I don't know if anyone else has predicted this, but I feel like 2026 is the year of fiber.
I would agree. I also listened to a podcast that said 2026 is the year of butter. So I would like to come and make a statement of 2026 is the double F year, the year of fats and fibers.
So I want to say they probably said that because of the switch in, why haven't we talked about this yet? The switch in the food pyramid. Like that was at the top.
Ooh. Oh, that we will talk about that next week.
Okay. I just had this urge, like, we had to talk about it now.
You have to tune
But it
in
is,
next week.
yes, we're not going to talk about it right now. But butter was toward the top, I believe. Let me double
Yeah.
check.
Well, fats and fiber are best friends. Like that's why they say when you go and eat like a handful of blueberries, don't just eat a handful of blueberries, eat a handful of blueberries and a piece of cheese because they're best friends. They help to balance each other out to where you're not having those crazy blood sugar spikes from like the carb and sugar of like fruits or high fibrous things, and then the fats just kind of help with your digestion as well. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so it's not at the top, but it's in the middle. You know, it is at the top. Cheese.
But thank God we're not villainizing cheese anymore.
There's a can of green beans up there as well, and frozen peas.
Okay.
You didn't ask for it, but fun tip if you're trying to eat healthy, the freezer is also your best friend.
Yes, but you can get freezer vegetables, all that kind of stuff. Do not cook them in that bag that they come in.
Never do. Yep.
No.
Mm-hmm. I
That
always
is
saute
where,
them in a pan with either butter or
yes,
olive oil.
yes. So like frozen fruits, frozen vegetables, love them. Stunning. I have no hatred towards them. Stop cooking them in the bag.
I just had responded to a comment on one of my TikTok videos. Someone was talking about, okay, it was the silly one. It was me with my bowl of soup spinning in a circle. And someone had
Okay.
commented that they wish that someone could make like a bingo cage, like when you play bingo and like all the balls are in the cage, like a bingo cage type soup spinner. And someone was like, I hate to suggest this, but like I think a salad spinner would do the trick. And I was like, man, guys, like I was just imagining like stirring some soup in a bingo cage, which was crazy to think about. But I said the only problem I have with like the idea of stirring your soup in a salad spinner is that soup is hot and like most salad spinners are plastic. And like I'm just weird about hot things in plastic. I couldn't tell you the last time I did that. I take it back. I had Chinese food last week and they put it in a plastic container. Don't love that.
God, 80-20. 80-20.
And what I also hate is that I'm going to do it again tonight.
80-20. 75-25.
Just this week and last week. It's fine.
No, it's completely okay. And again, disclaimer, when we're saying all this, we're not saying this is your end all be all. You have to do this and live your life like this every day. Of course, 80-20 lifestyle. It's just maybe your 80 starts to align with these blue zones, which I think I'm going to start to do. Because it seems like the blue zones obviously are whole foods and all that kind of stuff. But let's take it one step further and really dive into the nitty gritty of why they are eating what they're eating.
Yes. One thing that I want to add that I told you about, but I feel like it was kind of game changer for me because we talked about like grocery hauls and like how to like where you should shop and all those things. And I was talking about how like shopping with a kid, like it's hard to go to Aldi for the things that I want from Aldi, but then also Walmart for like all the other things. I ordered my groceries from Walmart, whatever I needed that I didn't plan to get at Aldi, and I just ordered them online through the app to pick up the next day. And then I like to shop on Mondays. So we go to the library and then it's really close to nap time now. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to run into Aldi quick. I'm going to get my produce. I'm going to get my meat and anything else that I need that I get from Aldi. So a good Aldi haul because it's been probably over a month since I've been there. And then when I was leaving Aldi, I went to my Walmart app and I said, "Hey, I'm on my way." And I went to Walmart and I sat in my car. They loaded my groceries in my trunk and away I went. I got Josie out of the car once. There was no screaming. She was happy. I got everything that I needed in like half the amount of time. And it was wonderful. And it was free for the grocery order. Like there was no extra charge just to order my groceries on the app. So that was like kind of game changer. So all of that to say, like you can get higher quality groceries. Honestly, I feel like Aldi is a much higher quality than Walmart, especially when it comes to meat. But like you can get the higher quality stuff in a more convenient way if you think outside the box.
Yes. Um, so that kind of brings me back to the list is number 2 is vegetables, and next to it, it says daily and abundant.
So like you
Okay.
shouldn't just have vegetables a few times a week.
Yeah. Abundant vegetables, which this is personally where I struggle is I'm not a vegetable person, and that's just something I live with.
You know where you could hide it if you feel like you need to trick yourself? If
Mhm.
you roasted a bunch of vegetables like in olive oil and threw them in the oven and then blended them into like a sauce
Mm.
with your beef or whatever, you could do it like a pasta sauce kind of deal. Or
That is
even
such
like
a
a
good
soup.
That's a really good tip. Now, my question is, are sweet potatoes vegetables?
I think it's a vegetable, but I think it falls more in the category of like a carbohydrate starch type situation. Like obviously very nutrient dense, but they kind of like in my head, vegetables are like green, orange, red. Well, it is orange.
Yeah. Or purple or yellow.
Potatoes in my head fall in a different category. Like I would have a potato and a green bean on my plate, and I would count that as a vegetable and a carb.
Yes. Because I eat sweet potatoes a lot.
So if I were you, I would add like a sweet pea or a green bean or carrots is a lot of orange, but you could do orange or like zucchini or broccoli, you know?
Yeah, that's something I'll work on. I'm not the best with vegetables. I just don't really love vegetables. Um, but it's very hard too because there's not very many vegetables in season right now. And when tomatoes are in season, tomatoes is my vegetable of choice. Tomatoes and onions. I eat a lot of onions as well. That's a vegetable.
I just thought too, as you were saying that, and based off of what I had for lunch, did you like those roasted veggies that I made for, was it Christmas? Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving.
Yes, I did. I did. Those are really good.
So you could do that kind of situation. It is sweet potatoes, there's red onion, broccoli, carrots. There were Brussels, you can leave them out. The original recipe had like cherry tomatoes in it, so you could throw those in there too, and then do the whipped feta with feta and cream cheese, and a little bit of lemon juice.
Yes. All right. I'll look into that. Um, but I do hide like some spinach sometimes in my beef. And when they're saying vegetables, the list that they kind of give me is leafy greens, squash. Does that mean sweet potatoes?
I wouldn't consider
Squash?
sweet potatoes a squash.
They're so close though. I'm trying so hard. Onions and tomatoes. That's the list they gave me, which I love them all. And obviously
Hmm.
there's other vegetables in the world, but like and the thing that comes with antioxidants and they protect against chronic disease. Sweet potatoes are full of antioxidants, though. I
Hmm?
just want it to work so bad.
Here, let's see what the Google
That's
tells
how much
us.
I don't like vegetables. I do like them. They're not my choice. I'm such a fruit person.
Yes, sweet potatoes are definitely considered a starchy vegetable, classified as such by the USDA.
Okay.
They're a root vegetable,
But so is a squash, isn't it?
but they function more like carbs.
Dang it.
Are squashes.
But vegetables themselves function like carbs.
Fun fact, squash is a fruit
All right. You've lost me.
because I a pumpkin's a fruit too. Because it develops from a flowering that contains seeds.
Nope. Nope. That's like when it says like tomatoes a fruit. Like, I'm so beyond this
Would a
ridiculous labeling.
would a cucumber then also be considered a fruit?
That's what I'm saying. Like, where does it end?
It
Is
doesn't.
there such a thing as a vegetable?
A botanical view of a fruit. The definition. A fruit is the mature ovary of a flowering plant.
Okay.
Hmm.
See, I don't like where this is headed. That's why I like to just say, like, when I like to break up my foods when I'm building a plate of protein, fats, and fiber. The whole vegetable fruit nonsense, it's all interchangeable, in my
I
opinion.
would like to make an executive decision that if you're eating foods that are coming from the ground often, you are winning.
Perfect.
Plain and simple.
Because like I said, I want to try harder with the vegetables, and once more vegetables come in season, I will do a little bit better with that. But to me, vegetables and fruits are both providing fiber. Granted, fruits have a higher sugar context to it. It's also a natural sugar, but I'm also getting my fats in there with it, which are balancing out my blood sugar spikes with my fruit. So, like I said, break it up: protein, fiber, fats. That is balanced plate to me. It is no longer your meat, potato, vegetable. It's protein, fiber, fats. Um, Next on the list, whole grains. And you know what falls into this whole grains category? Corn.
It's corn.
It's corn. I thought corn was the most pointless thing like in the entire world.
Didn't you tell me that you kind of like, not avoid, but like, it's not a hard avoid, it's like a soft avoid corn?
It is a soft avoid corn because a lot of, well, I hard avoid, soft avoid, quote unquote, grains.
I do see that. Other than
Yeah,
your organic flour.
exactly. So I wouldn't mind an organic, non GMO corn. We've kind of talked about it in the past. The majority of the grain in America is sprayed with folic acid, and that does include like corn and oats and a lot of your like barley and wheat and things like that. So I do try to avoid that unless it is organic. But it says in these blue zones, they're eating whole grains,
Hmm. But I
which
wonder if they are more organic, non-GMO grains.
1000% they are.
Yeah.
1000%. And they're probably multiple generations of nutrient rich soil that these are being planted in as well, which is also
Which I
very
don't
different
think we
because
have much of that.
no, because we've been killing our soil for years.
Mhm. And which is
So
like crazy to me because I feel like there's so much farming in our country. Like, how are we not up with the science on how to take care of our soil?
they say Your average like tomato over in Italy has about 5 times more nutrients than your average tomato in America.
I believe it. And I also just said what I said. And then I also thought that a lot of farming in America is government funded. So I take it back.
Oh yeah.
I take
Oh
it
yeah.
back.
Um Next thing on the list. Well, let me go over why they do the whole grains. Slow digesting carbs, stable energy, fiber, and heart and digestive health. So, love all those things. Next thing on the list, and one of my favorite things, healthy fats.
Healthy fats.
They
Parmesan
specific
cheese.
Yes, they specifically list olive oil and nuts, but that can also be avocado, cheese, butter,
Seeds.
any of those seeds, any of those things. They're anti-inflammatory fats and they support your brain and heart health, which love that as well. I Like I said, we're going down the list, this is exactly how I told you to build your plates. So this is great. Number 5, fruit.
We love our fruit.
We love our fruit, but where it said vegetables and it said abundant, under fruit it says moderate and seasonal.
Mm.
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 What even is in season in the winter in Pennsylvania, please?
Like
For fruit.
nothing really. Possibly cranberries?
We have any local bogs?
I don't know. I like Why do we see so many cranberries in the wintertime?
It's saying apples, and then in parentheses it says storage varieties. So that sounds like to me that they're not in season, but they store well.
Yes. So there's
Pears,
nothing really
pomegranates, kiwi, and citrus.
in Pennsylvania?
I don't believe it.
No. No, no, no. Like there's nothing really in season. Like that's why like come spring and summer, the farmers markets are so amazing. But this time of year, I would say stick to your berries, stick to your kiwi. Um,
I need to get
both
kiwi.
You have to. They're so good. They're both very high in antioxidants, and that's what you're looking for a lot with fruit
Mhm.
and why you want to have fruits in your diet. I do like kiwis. Fun tip, the golden kiwis are so much better than regular kiwis and they have a lot more vitamin C, so they're actually really good to eat during the winter time. And if you eat them with the skin on, they have 3 times more fiber. Of course,
It's
wash them
crazy.
and get the fuzzy stuff off cuz you're not an animal, but you can eat them with the skin on.
Seriously, though, thinking about eating a kiwi with the skin on, like, I feel, do you take like a brush to the outside and like get all the little fuzzies off, or do you just kind of
I
hand?
I just like really like wash it with my hands, but the golden kiwis are less fuzzy than the green ones.
Okay.
And
Question,
they're sweeter.
since you are eating like the whole thing, like do you get rid of like the butts? Do you eat the
Yes.
butts? Okay.
No,
You don't eat the butts, you
I
get rid
bite
of
it
the
off.
butts. Okay.
Yeah, I bite it off and then I spit it out. And then I eat the whole rest of it into the other end.
To the other butt.
And then I throw that out too.
Okay. Just curious.
Kiwi tutorial. Um,
And next episode, we'll have a live kiwi eating contest.
no, literally. I would love that. I love kiwis so much. Kiwis and blueberries are like my favorite fruits at the moment until more fruits come in season. Oh my god, I'm like counting down the days till peach and cherry season again.
I need to not sleep on the peaches this year. I
They're
slept on them last
so
year.
good. They're
I think
so
I
good
ate
to where
3 on the way to your bachelorette trip.
yes. Oh my god, we ate so many
We
on
ate
the
like
way to my
12.
bachelorette trip. I know, cuz I cut up so many to have as like road snacks and they were like gone by the time we got there, and we were like, "Ooh,"
We just ate
but we
12,
didn't
12 peaches.
exactly, but we didn't get any fast like food, and we didn't. That was like our snacks we brought, and oh my god, was it so good? Um, but the peaches last year, they were on another level to where like I was eating them all the way, the whole thing, all the way down to the pit, and then I would kind of like I'd kind of like gnaw on the pit just a little bit because it was so good.
Just sharpening your teeth.
I love peaches and cherries. That's my favorite time of year. I can't wait for it to come back around, but I'm not going to buy peaches and cherries right now. I actually froze some. Another reason
Smart.
your freezer's your friend. I actually froze some so then I can come back and make like peach pie, cherry pie, peach crumbles, things like that. But right now, blueberries and kiwi are my, because at least if I'm going to buy them out of season, they are the ones that have like the highest impact on your health. Those are like
Yeah.
some of the key fruits that have the highest impact. So I will buy those 100 times over.
If you were talking and you saw like all emotion come off of my face and you felt like you were talking through me, it was because I got lost in my thoughts. I do this a lot and I feel like I don't like get them out of my head. So, random thought I had when you were talking is, has anyone ever made a kiwi pie? I don't think it would work, but it's kind of like an orange pie.
Hold on.
Like, why have we not tried this?
Well, what's a key lime pie? That's just lime, right?
Yeah, definitely not kiwi because it's a Keylime. Key, not Ki, like a kiwi.
Yeah. I don't know. It would probably be good.
Because it's probably for the same reason we don't make orange pies. Like maybe it's just too much water content in the fruit.
That it probably is exactly it.
But that's probably why we haven't done it. I just felt like I had to get it out of my head and have a discussion about it. Sorry.
Oh, you're okay. The next one that I'm not too happy about is fish. But
Listen, one food at a time.
I get the process. I get what we're saying. It's your omega 3s. Cuz fish is heavy on your omega 3s. For anyone that doesn't know, you really need those omega 3s. If you're going to be stubborn like me and not a fish gal, take the supplements for your omega 3s.
One thing that I learned in my pregnancy nutrition and postpartum and baby nutrition is that fish is actually really high in vitamin D too, which like makes
Mm.
sense because they're in water and I'm assuming like how the sunlight hits the water, like it's a very good like mode of transportation for the vitamin D to get to the fish, which is kind of like
Mm.
cool to think about. But just another little fun fact, another vitamin that fish is really high in other than your omegas.
Okay. Yeah, fish, and then the next one is fermented foods. I love fermented foods because that includes sourdough,
Sourdough, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, Greek yogurt, all good stuff.
yogurt.
Yogurt.
Yeah, this is great for your gut and nutrient absorption. So you're putting all these great nutrients in from your beans and your veggies and your fruits, but you want to be able to absorb them into your gut as well, so that way they do the job they're supposed to do. Um, I think everyone should try and eat some sort of fermented food at least once a day.
I will say I'm slacking on my fermented foods.
I I think the easiest kind of way to do the fermented foods is one sourdough, and then also just a yogurt bowl. A yogurt bowl is so great. You just do yogurt, watch your yogurt. Make sure you're reading the label on your
I get
yogurt
a
because
plain Greek.
they like to throw a bunch of gums in there. Um,
Yeah. On that note, I was looking up to help with a client who was asking about like a protein drink. She wants to get to more whole foods, but right now, like convenience is what she needs. So once she gets there, like that'll be something she phases out of. But I was looking into for her like those Chobani like Greek yogurt drinks.
Mhm.
Scary.
Yeah.
They're scary.
Yeah. Are they full of gums and sugar?
Gums, sweeteners. There wasn't added sugar, but it was your sweeteners.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was not gut friendly.
No, definitely not. And that's what's so crazy to me is they take one of the most gut-friendly things, yogurt, and they throw junk in there, and it just becomes counterintuitive.
And this is why we can't
So,
have nice things.
exactly. Another fermented food that I like to add into my diet that's very easy to add into my diet every day is just like a shot of apple cider vinegar.
I don't know if I can get behind that.
I put it in my
But
bone broth.
I know. And I told you I tried that the one time. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but I have to say what's on my mind. It reminds me of vomit.
Mm,
Think about it,
lovely.
but that's what it feels like.
Okay. Thanks for that.
I can get
Um,
behind it.
well, I also put like turmeric and black pepper and salt and black seed oil. Like I put like other stuff in there. So maybe you just need to put some other stuff in there with it.
I think I put everything else that you just listed on there except for black seed oil in it, and nothing can mask that flavor for me.
Of the apple cider vinegar.
hmm
Yeah, maybe you just don't like the taste of the apple cider vinegar then.
I can guarantee it. Other than if I had to relate it to something that like actually does taste good, it reminds me a lot of, remember when we were growing up, we would have like the ham and bean soup and we'd put vinegar in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I get, but like I wouldn't sit and drink a cup of like that broth and vinegar, you know?
Yeah, I gotcha. And then my last one is herbs and spices. So your garlic, your turmeric, oregano, probably like cayenne pepper. So anti-inflammatory properties, always good. As we've talked about before, anything, the less inflammation you can get in your body, the better you will be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That reminds me that I need to start drinking my bone broth again because I don't get turmeric in any other way.
There you go. There you go. Um, let's touch on briefly, and this is where they lose me just a smidge. Let's touch on briefly what they don't necessarily eat.
Tell me.
This is where they're losing me. This is the only one they're losing me on too. Because other ones are like processed foods, added sugars, refined grains. And I'm like, I'm 100% behind you. Like, I support fully. This one, red meat.
Oh,
Yeah.
and why?
Like, very rare. And they like only in small portions. They're not saying completely demonizing no 100% no to red meat. They're just not centering it as a key part of their diet.
Okay, so they're focusing more on the fish.
Fish and beans and
Interesting.
things like that. More of your like leaner proteins. But it says red meat intake, but specifically processed red meat intake has increases like inflammation, can increase heart risk, and has saturated fat that can raise cholesterol. But a big reason, like, they're like, this is just not completely for us, which is interesting, is it said red meat provides protein but no fiber. And as we've seen, they center a lot around fiber. So that's probably why it's not the center of attention.
I can guarantee that fish doesn't have fiber though.
But it's brain, heart, and joint support. So it does like a lot more than just protein.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's not like it's not the demon.
I feel like I eat red meat maybe once, sometimes twice a week. depending on what I make. But do I think that recommendation is going to make me stop? No, I don't.
I agree. I think what I'm going to do with that recommendation, because I eat red meat probably like more like 5 or 6 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just don't like chicken. I do, but like it's just not my go-to. I love a ground beef and doing multiple things with the ground beef. I think what that recommendation just tells me is I'm still going to eat it because, yes, I need my proteins and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to focus heavily on my fiber because that seems to
Even
be what
that, I
they're
feel like we
focusing
should,
on.
I think we should challenge ourselves to like have fish once a week.
I know.
Just
I don't
once.
want to. It's okay. I'm going to do it.
And like, does fish just mean like all white fish? Could that mean crab? Could that mean shrimp? You know? Or
I
is
don't
it
know.
your white fish? Because
That's
obviously
something
omega
we'll.
3s, that's coming from salmon.
So it says your cold water fish has most of your omega 3s. So that's like mackerel, salmon, sardines, anchovies, herring, rainbow trout, tuna, and then low omega 3s is catfish, flounder, and haddock. But your non-fish omega-3 sources, which I have every day, are chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts. I don't have those every day.
You have to watch with them too. I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know, and I think the seeds fall a lot into this. With the omega 3s, they have more ALA than they do DHA, and our bodies are not. So the DHA is what we like need from the
Mm-hmm.
omegas situation. Our bodies are not very efficient with converting ALA to DHA. So while they
Interesting.
are good fats, they don't actually like go toward the requirements that we need with the omegas because they're just not like easily absorbed in our body or created, I should say, from the ALA fats.
Okay. But that's my list on what these blue zones are up to.
I think it's interesting and I'm glad we brought it up because I think it just supports our whole food push and focus. And if
Yes.
not before, it gives us more of a reason to think about those things when we're grocery shopping and creating our meal plans for the week.
Absolutely. And it gives the listeners more of a reason because I know everyone is trying to get that protein in, but you have to focus on that fiber.
Mm-hmm.
2026, year of fats and fiber.
Fats
Make
and
sure you're adding
fiber.
them to your plate.
It's the year of F's. F's will be given. If this episode helped you look at longevity trends just a little bit more realistically, share it with a friend who's either been deep in BeanTok or maybe you think needs to be exposed to BeanTok, or maybe they're wondering if they need to overhaul their entire diet just to live longer. Anyway, the takeaway here is that you don't need to eat exactly like someone does in a blue zone. It's that small, consistent habits matter way more than chasing the next viral health fix. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to us on YouTube so you don't miss future episodes. If you are following us on Instagram and TikTok, message us and tell us what health trends you want us to break down next. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Sis Let's Heal podcast.